Hello everyone and welcome to 5-Minute German. In today's video, we will learn the concept of irregular verbs in German. Once you learn this concept, then it will be easy for you to identify irregular verbs whenever you see them. I have also made a video on regular verbs, so if you haven't seen it, then go check it out. I will post the link in the description below. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. So we will start by first of all understanding what are irregular verbs or Unregelmäßige Verben in German. After that, I will tell you the conjugations of irregular verbs in the present tense, and then I will give you some rules for conjugation of irregular verbs in the present tense. At the end of the video, in the helpful tips section, I will tell you a website where you can find the verb types easily. And you will also receive a link to a self-check form for practicing what you learn in this video. So let's learn. So what are irregular verbs or Unregelmäßige Verben as they are called in German? So irregular verbs are also called strong verbs or starke Verben in German. These are a type of verb where the verb stem changes when the verb is conjugated. For those of you who don't know, conjugation means the change in verb form due to pronoun or tense. And in German, we have almost 200 irregular verbs. But the good news is that for the A1 exam, you only need maximum 20 or 25 of these irregular verbs. Now you might be asking, what is a verb stem which does not change? So I will tell you the rule of how you can find the verb stem. So in order to find the verb stem, you need the verb in infinitive form. Then you will remove the ending en or n from the verb, and you will be left with the verb stem. Let's take an example of the verb hören, which means to hear. Now we have to remove the ending en or n. In this case, it will be en. And when I do this, then I get hör, which is the verb stem. Now let's take a look at the irregular verb conjugation in the present tense or presens. So over here, you see that I have already written the different cases and the personal pronouns in nominative. I have explained these cases in details in another video, which I will link in the description below. So as an example, let's take the verb sprechen, which means to speak. This is the infinitive form. Now using the rule which I showed you earlier, we can split the verb sprechen into two parts. So sprech, which is the first part, will be the verb stem, and en is the ending. So now if we conjugate sprechen, then it will be ich spreche, du sprichst, sie spricht, wir sprechen, ihr sprecht, sie sprechen, and sie sprechen. So I told you earlier that an irregular verb is a verb where the verb stem changes when it is conjugated. Now let's see if this is the case over here. So I have separated the verb in the verb stem and the ending. And you see over here that in case of second person singular and third person singular, the verb stem is different. So it is not sprech, rather it is sprich with an I instead of an E. And we also see that the endings for all the other cases are the same as they were for the regular verbs. So here are the endings which we also used in case of regular verbs. Now let's take another verb, essen, which means to eat. So we can also split the verb essen into two parts, and that is s, which is the verb stem, and en, which is the ending. Now if we conjugate essen, then it will be ich esse, du isst, sie isst, wir essen, ihr esst, sie essen, and sie essen. Now here you see the verb essen, where I have separated the verb stem and the ending, and you see again that the second person singular and third person singular stems are different, and for all the other cases they are the same. So this is something that you should keep in mind, that in case of irregular verbs in the present tense, the stem changes only for second person singular and third person singular. Now let me give you some rules which will help you conjugate irregular verbs, and you will not have to memorize them all. So the first rule is the one which we already saw, and that is that in present tense only the second and third person singular stem changes. And we already saw examples with sprechen and essen where the stem for the second person singular and third person singular cases were different from the other cases. The second rule which will help you conjugate irregular verbs is that in case of irregular verbs, the changes in verb stem are as follows. So if there is an E in the verb stem, then it will be changed to I. So we already saw the example for sprechen, which became du sprichst, in second person singular and sie spricht in third person singular. So over here you see that the E in the verb stem became I in the second person singular and third person singular conjugated form. Now E in the verb stem can also change to IE. So an example for this will be lesen, which means to read. So this will be conjugated in the second person singular as du liest and in the third person singular as sie liest. And you see over here that the E in the verb stem has been changed to IE in the second person and third person singular forms. If there is an A in the verb stem, then it will be changed to A umlaut. So an example for this is schlafen, which means to sleep. So in the second person singular it will be du schläfst and in the third person singular it will be sie schläft. And the last case is if you have an AU or AU, then it will be changed to A umlaut U. So if we have the verb laufen, which means to run or walk, then it will be changed to du läufst in second person singular and sie läuft in third person singular. So here's an overview of both the rules. You can take a screenshot of this so that you can take a look at it whenever you want. Now how will you know if a verb is regular or irregular? Do you have to memorize it all? No, you don't have to, because I will tell you a website where you can find the verb types, whether a verb is regular or irregular. So the website is called verbform.com and this is how it looks like. So you can input the verb that you want to search over here. So let's take sprechen. When you press enter, then you will see this screen, and over here you see that it tells you that the verb is irregular. You also find some other information about the verb over here as well, and you can also find the conjugations of the verb in different tenses if you scroll down. So this is a website which I also use, and I will also suggest that you can use this website to find if a verb is regular or irregular. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. As promised in the start, I have put the link for the self-check form in the description below. Go and fill the form and see how much you have learned about irregular verbs. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comments below. Please like this video and share it with others who are also learning German. Thank you very much for your time and see you in the next video.